Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to connect to the database and get all movies from the database, because this is the first this one is the first route that we have, which is get movies, get all. So in order to get movies, the first step is that we need to use what's called a cursor, because the MySQL connector uses what's called a cursor in order to go back and forth between in the database. If you open up the movies table, Python movies table, in case we have movies, currently I don't have any movies, but if we have many movies, this MySQL connector, in order to get data, in order to get movies from the database, it's gonna need to use what's called a cursor, and the cursor is gonna allow it to go back and forth and get and fetch data from or pull out data from the database. So we need to create a cursor. We need to create a new variable called my cursor. Cursor is equal to my database dot cursor. Cursor. So this function is going to create a cursor, and this my cursor is going to be used throughout the application to get and do anything with the database. So this is the first step, which is creating cursor. The second step is that now in any function we can use this cursor to execute anything we want and do all sorts of operations with the database. So the first thing that we need to do is that we need to get movies. And to get movies, we need to use the cursor. So here I'm gonna say my cursor, and I can use this my cursor. However, before using this cursor, we need to use MySQL. So here we need to create an SQL command that is going to get all movies from the database. However, we don't have any movies in the database, so let's insert a few movies. So let me insert a few movies here. I'm gonna click on insert. So I'm gonna here insert the first movie. I'm gonna say Joker, and then the year, let's say 2022 for example, and then storyline, I'm gonna keep it empty for now, and then I'm gonna click on go, and this is gonna insert the first movie. Let's insert a couple other movies. So here I'm gonna say Batman ends. And let me insert another movie. Let me zoom in so that you see here. So here I'm gonna insert I'm gonna insert a few movies, and after that, let me click on go, and let me insert another one before I move on, and let's insert this one as well. So I'm trying to get everything correct, because I don't want to insert fake names here. It's important to insert real names and real dates, because it's gonna help you a lot in terms of learning. Let me click on go, and now I think we have now 4 movies. So if you click on browse, we have here 4 movies. So let's continue now. Now what I'm gonna do is that in order to get the movies, we need to use SQL, and the SQL command to get movies is select all from, and then the name of the table. So here I'm going to create a variable called SQL, and then is equal to, And by the way, this is not Python, this is SQL. So don't worry if you don't understand this, I'm going to explain this. This is called SQL language, and it's, by the way, it's very, very simple. It's like English. It's like if you are reading or writing English. So here we need to say, in order to get everything, we need to say select, and then all. In order to get everything, we use asterisk. So we need to say select all from, and then the name of the table. So what is the name of the table? The name of the table is movies. As you can see, the command is even written here. Select all from movies. So here I'm gonna say select all from movies. So this is the SQL command. Then we need to execute this command. And to execute this command, we need to use the cursor. I'm gonna say my cursor and then dot execute, and then this execute function takes the SQL command that you want to execute. So I'm going to pass here the SQL command, and that's it. Now what we want to do is that after we execute this, we want to use the cursor to get everything from the that has been returned. So I'm going to say my cursor dot fetch all. Fetch all is a function that would return everything that has been returned by the cursor. So this is going to return everything, and then we can store it in a variable called movies. I'm going to say movies is equal to my cursor dot fetch all, and then I'm going to return the movies. Let me now click on file and then save all, and let's test. Now in order to test, we need to open up the local host. Make sure that the local host is up and running. So here, as you can see, my local host is up and running. Of course, I have taught you how to do this. Again, if you want to run the server, the local host, you need to use the uvcorn main colon app, and then reload reload, and this is going to start your server, which is 127.0.0.1.8000. Now you need to go to 127.0.0.1 colon 8000 and then /docs. Now let me refresh this and let's test. So what we want to test is that we want to test the movies. I'm gonna click on movies, and this now should return if I click on execute or try it out and then execute. As you can see, this is gonna return all of the movies. So the movies that will be returned should be the movies that we have in the database. So what are the movies that we have in the database? We have Ice Age and Lion King. Let's try that. Let's test this. So let's verify this. Here, the movies that have been returned are Joker, Batman Begins, Ice Age, and Lion King. So this is correct. So I also want you to pay attention to the type of data that has been returned. The type of data that has been returned is an array. It's an array of arrays. So it's a big contains small arrays, where each single array represents a movie. So for example, Joker is an array or a list. In Python, it's called a list. So we have here Joker, we have Batman Begins, etc. And each single one is stored in a list.